Good morning to you. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to Camnet Breakfast. I'm your host. My name is Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Hope your week was great and hope that you're having a good day this morning. Now remember that the breakfast show is right here to make sure that it updates you on the current affairs that you missed during the course of the week and also just to get you ready for the weekend. I've got quite a number of things lined up for you, and also one of the interesting stories that happened during the course of the week is actually stakeholders rejecting a proposal by the EU to scrap off grade 12 certificate as a requirement for office bearers. So maybe let's bring it down to the table. Do you think we should actually scrap off grade 12 certificate as a qualification for any politician that wants to stand? Well, there were different opinions from different stakeholders, one of them being the PEP president, Mr. Sean Temple, who says that it's actually a bad idea and people have continued to acquire grade 12 certificate as a requirement to stand at any office when it comes to government. And also McDonald Jipenzi commented on the same situation and said actually we should change the minimum qualification to a degree. So we'll just get into that topic of discussion later on, but for now let's quickly just get into our first segment. And remember that you can be part of this show. All you're doing is just get into our Facebook page and comment. Do you think that the grade 12 certificate should actually be scrapped off as a qualification or requirement for someone to stand in office? And also remember that the number you're catching us on is 0968675273. Let's get into our first segment of the day, which is the Morning Boost. I'll join you on the other side. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to our morning breakfast, and this is the Morning Boost, and I am your presenter Isaac Matsa. I am here so that we can be able to do a warm-up exercise together just before you go about your day. Alright, as usual, we are going to start with a warm-up. There we go, warm-up. 1 minute warm-up. After that, we'll be able to do some mountain climbers. Just that. For a minute. Let's go. How was your night? Say something so that we know where you're watching us from. If you're watching via Facebook, let's go. By the way, this is what I'm doing. See that? That's the workout all together. You're going to feel your calves actually. You're going to feel your legs. 1 minute warm up. Let's go. And let's change to the warm up. That protein. Go. 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 Down with the warm up. Getting into a wake up now. Let's go. Faster. Faster. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. That's it. Today, we're going to do something different. Let's do this now. Go down. Lay flat. It's a 3-minute workout. Bring in your leg out, in, out, okay? In, out, out. That's the workout you're going to do now. So you come here, go down, body posture like that. Let's go. 1, 2. Let's work on the tummy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's your first 10. So I'm going to do another 10. Let's go. Same thing. Down, straight up, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you're doing it correctly, you're going to feel your arms. 10. Okay, so that's 20. I have 2 more sets. Remember, just 5 minutes every morning. That's all you need. Okay, 3rd set, let's go. 1, 2, 3. You should feel your arms. 4, and the belly. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that's my 3rd set. I'm gonna do the 4th one now. So that's gonna be 40. So I'm working on the tummy, also strengthening my arms. Let's go, last 10. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 40. So I've worked on my triceps and biceps, burning fat on the arms and the tummy as well. Okay, so the same workout. This time I'm going to do it faster. Remember, it's a 3 minutes workout. Okay, so I'm good. 1 minute now. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's cool down. So try that. After you come back home, try to do those workouts. And they're going to work out for you perfectly. So this is very good for you every time you do that. So let's do now cooling down now. Easy. Easy. You've done the workout already. Easy. Thank you so much. This is Isaac Matsa, and I'm going to see you again. Stay blessed and stay fit. Thank you.
Well, welcome back. Hope you've managed to stretch 1 or 2 muscles. And like I always preach after the morning boost is that find time to exercise during the course of the week. If you're a morning person, it's best that you actually exercise in the morning before you go to work. I actually advise that and recommend that because early in the morning, we're talking of between 4:30 and 5:30 is actually the best time to do morning runs because the air is still fresh. Depending on what type of area you're in, just make sure that it's not pretty dark outside. Looking at 4:30, that's pretty dark outside. So maybe try between 5 and actually 6 hours, just so you can stretch some muscles because the air is actually pretty good early in the morning. And also, if you can't do the jogging in the morning or the running, just take a long walk. If not, just check out the internet on what you can find when it comes to home workouts, just to make sure that you are fit. Remember that the conversation for the day is aligned with what the EU Election Observation Commission actually recommended, that the grade 12 certificate should actually be scrapped off as a minimum requirement for office bearers. Now, like I mentioned, it has been received with mixed emotions. Stakeholders actually rejected that, but now we're bringing it down to the table. Do you think it should be scrapped off as recommended by the EU? And also Mr. Sean Tembo suggested that it can work somehow at a local government level. But remember that you can come through. Would like to hear what your opinion is on 0968675273. That's 0968675273. Now, right about now, let's just get into how we'll look at how the money market and the stock exchange rate looks like today. And also remember that you can get to our Facebook platform if you would like to comment on the topic of discussion. Do you think that the grade 12 certificate should be scrapped off as a minimum requirement for office bearers? 0968675273. 0968675273, and then later on I will be actually having someone who will come to talk about the same discussion and also other topics of discussion that was happening during the course of the week. Not forgetting the Post newspaper coming back. There was a rule. So a law that was passed, or a ruling that was passed. So I feel like a lot of money will be spent compensating the loss, looking at how long and also the scandal that went through the back and forth with the courts when the Post newspaper was actually trending, which has come back. And also on a sad note, there was a fatal road traffic accident that happened yesterday, around 15 hours, where lives were lost. One of them being a producer of the popular soap currently in Zambia, which is in Bali, Mr. Alista Sibuku, and also some ZRA officials that lost their life in a road traffic accident that died on the spot. We just sending our prayers and also kind words and also warm-hearted condolences to the bereaved family, and we pray that God gives you strength during this trying moment. And also we have seen quite a number of accidents happening. Just make sure that you keep the rules and regulations while you're on the road, and also as a pedestrian, let's remove the mentality to say the car has brakes. I've actually heard people say that. Let's just make sure that we observe the road rules as we drive, and also we stick to the speed limit, and also be cautious as we move on the road. On the road, we all know that this life that we have is that of the Lord, and He can take it whenever He feels like, and also we know that they are in a good place. So right about now, we'll just take a short break, and then when we get back, we'll get to look at what the money market looks like today.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Zero 0968675273 is the number that you're catching me on. For now, let's take a look at how the money market looks like as of yesterday. Now, the US is buying at 17 kwacha 32 ngwe and selling at 17 kwacha 65 ngwe. The British pound is buying at 23 kwacha 5.57 ngwe and selling at 24 kwacha 0.2 ngwe. The euro is buying at 19 kwacha 0.66 ngwe and selling at 20 kwacha 0.4 ngwe. The South African rand is buying at 1 kwacha 0.15 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 0.17 ngwe. Now that is our foreign exchange rate as of yesterday. Now let's take a look at the story that is marrying our topic of discussion for today, which is stakeholders have rejected the recommendation by the European Union Election Observation Mission to scrap off the grade 12 certificate requirement for office bearers. Now, Patriots for Economic Progress President Sean Temple says the recommendation is retrogressive, suggesting that it could somehow work at the local government level.
Leading people or standing in front is not easy, especially in a country where English is an official language.
Now is the time to work. We must serve the people of Mbala with respect.
The 2021 general election was a heated one, with a number of dynamics being witnessed during the poll, which saw the United Party for National Development, UPND's Hakainde Hichilema, emerge victorious, taking over from Patriotic Front, PF's Edgar Lungu. The European Union Election Observation Mission made some recommendations following the holding of the August 12 general election, among them the proposal to scrap off the grade 12 requirement to make it easy for parties to find candidates. Zambians prescribed this requirement to improve the quality of leaders and debate in the National Assembly and council meetings, among other platforms. The quality of leaders has always been a matter of concern.
If you cannot support the president, the one who is producing money, because he's the one who can say, can you sink a dam, can you drum a dam, is only the president.
And electoral expert McDonald Chipenzi says the grade 12 requirement must be maintained.
Us, I think we feel that is not the right way to go, especially in the second millennium. Everyone is aspiring to have educated population, and if we, on one hand, we are giving free education, on the other hand, we are saying no, even if you are not educated, you can aspire for office. I think that is a contradiction.
He adds that the country must start talking about increasing qualifications at parliamentary and presidential levels.
Education qualification should actually be upped, increased, especially at parliamentary level. We don't want people who go into parliament who cannot even read, who cannot even pronounce the word like procrastination. They will start crack. We don't want such people who will be speaking like frogs in parliament. We want people who are able to articulate issues, people who are able to study these voluminous documents that are at parliament, people who can research, and not just from say yeah you go to the bar, and then from the bar you become a rumpen, and then tomorrow you say I'm an MP. No.
We also spoke to Patriots for Economic Progress leader Sean Tembo.
Candidates at presidential level as well as parliamentary level have a huge task that they need to execute in terms of formulating laws and, of course, running the affairs of the nation. It is from the pool of members of parliament, remember, where ministers are appointed. And so if we are going to have people holding such levels of responsibility, they need to have certain minimum, qualifications. And therefore, the grade 12 requirement is appropriate at parliamentary and presidential level.
He, however, believes that there can be an exemption of the grade 12 certificate requirement at local government level.
However, when you look at a councillor and the duties of a councillor and the responsibilities of a councillor, you realize that a councillor is more of a community leader. And we do not believe that for someone to be a community leader, they need to have certain minimum qualifications. They do not.
They say democracy is about tolerating divergent views. Patrick Soko, Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
So that is where our topic of discussion is coming from, and we are now getting into zooming into our headlines. And Kanyama Member of Parliament Moti Chinkuli has clarified that the 25.7 million kwacha Constituency Development Fund has no provision for student loans who are in higher institutions of learning. Now, Mr. Chinkuli says the 20% allocated towards the secondary boarding schools and skills development bursary scheme from the CDF has only been extended to benefit those in skills training institutions and not colleges and universities.
Sunday, 13th February 2022, Camnet television aired a story in which a University of Zambia student could not report at the institution due to lack of financing.
I was admitted into the university, and I also applied for student loan, but I was left out due to, I don't know, some reasons. So I'm appealing to the government or to any well-wisher to help me out, to help me achieve my dreams as a medical doctor. I applied in the School of Natural Sciences allowances.
The story, however, caught the attention of many viewers who suggested that the girl should be taken to the area member of parliament so that she can be supported through the loan and grant financing facilities under the Constituency Development Fund (CDF). However, Kanyama Member of Parliament Monte Chinkuli, when contacted for a comment, told this reporter that there is no provision in the Constituency Development Fund which supports persons in higher institutions of learning such as universities and colleges. According to the MP, the 20% allocated towards the secondary boarding schools and skills development bursary schemes from CDF has only been extended to benefit those in skills training institutions and the Zambia National Service.
There's this misconception of people thinking that if my child goes to Unza, CBU, for example, they are supposed to be to benefit from the CDF under bursary. That is no. The bursary is extended, other than the grade 12, is extended to those institutions that are under TVETA. Those institutions that are providing, skills like Lusaka Trades and a few other institutions. Those are the ones that are supposed to come to the constituency and apply for the CDF.
And Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Garin Kombo has guided in the CDF guidelines that the application for the skills training bursaries shall be submitted together with an admission or acceptance letter from a TVETA accredited public or private institution or the Zambia National Service. This means that only those who are at skills training institutions are eligible for bursaries under CDF and not those in colleges and universities. Members of the general public have since been advised to read the CDF guidelines to avoid misinformation. Prudence Jota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Getting into another story of zooming into the headlines, the Supreme Court has overturned the liquidation of the Post newspaper as it was illegal. Now delivering judgment Thursday morning, Chief Justice Mumba Malila has since ordered the Lusaka High Court to restart the liquidation process or proceedings of the company with view to ensuring compliance with the relevant legal provision is allowed. Now the court has also ordered the provisional liquidator Lewis Marshall be joined to the said proceedings and make an account, even though he may have finished selling the assets of the defunct newspaper.
After 6 years of non-operational and fighting legal battles, the Supreme Court has given a landmark judgment Thursday, the 17th of February 2022, in which it has declared that the liquidation of the Post newspaper limited was illegal. Chief Justice Mumba Malila, who read the judgment on behalf of other judges, has also ordered that the Lusaka High Court reopen the liquidation proceedings of the Post newspaper with a view of ensuring compliance with the relevant legal provisions. This is in a case in which 5 former Post newspaper employees, among them Abe Mbozi, Andrew Chwenda, Roy Hambalu, Bonaventure Walia, Mwendaba Emwene, and the Zambia Revenue Authority applied that the Post newspaper limited be closed on account that it had no capacity to pay its creditors. The 5 workers had applied before court that the Post had failed to pay them their salaries and emoluments amounting to 815,000, while ZRA claimed that the media institution failed to discharge its tax obligations. With the court having heard these submissions, Lusaka High Court Judge Sunday Konde then appointed lawyer Lewis Marshall as the provisional liquidator of the Post newspaper in 2016, who then entered a consent order for the closure of the company. Not satisfied with the lower court's ruling, the Post newspaper then appealed to the Court of Appeal against the said decision. Unfortunately, the appeal was struck out. Still determined, Post Managing Director Dr. Fred Membe then appealed to the Supreme Court against the said decision, where judgment this morning was delivered, with the Supreme Court in its further judgment ordering that Post Provisional Liquidator Lewis Marshall be part of the proceedings when the case restart before the Lusaka High Court. We wait to see how this case will unfold when it commences before the lower court. Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
0968675273. That's the number that you're catching me on, or get to our Facebook platform. Right about now, let's just take a quick short break and we'll get into our interviews for the day.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned.
Are you a talented and gifted soccer player? Camnet Stars will be conducting trials for young players between the age of 14 and 16 years. You never know, you could be America or Europe bound this July.
We need to pick some players so that we can come up with a very powerful squad which is supposed to travel outside the country and do a lot of work for Zambian football.
Venue, Kablonga Boys Secondary School Playgrounds. Time, 14 hours. You could be the next big soccer star in Europe. See you this Sunday, 20th February 2022.
Do you have an extra car? Then make yourself extra money. We would like to put that car, yes, that car parked there, to good use to make you extra money on the side just through its service while keeping it safe and secure. Call 0765 02 3883 to register your vehicle with us today. Delpo Services. Service beyond satisfaction.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Camnet Breakfast on not just another channel, Camnet TV. Now remember that you can get interactive with us on 0968675273. Our topic of discussion is the scrapping of the Grade 12 certificate as a minimum requirement for office bearers as suggested by the European Union Election Observation Mission. Now joining me on the set just to highlight more on that topic of discussion is Mr. Gregory Chisha, who is a governance activist, and then we'll just get into that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, thank you.
How are you?
I'm okay, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How has been your week?
It's been okay, it's been okay.
Okay, what are you up to?
Well, just trying to talk about these issues, national issues here and there. Yeah, basically having media engagements. Yeah, basically that. It's been a good week.
It's been a good week, yeah? So let's get into it. What do you think about the suggestion of the recommendation by the European Union Election Observation Commission talking about scrapping off the Grade 12 certificate as a minimum requirement for politicians?
Okay, so first of all, I must make mention to say I'm totally against that. I am totally against that because one funny thing is, if we are to ask the European Union and if we are to ask them to say, do we have or do they have unqualified, members of parliament in their systems, The answer probably is no. So, you know, at Member of Parliament level, at National Assembly level, rather, it's important that we, you know, maintain the grade 12, you know, certificate qualification or requirement as a minimum, because, you know, those are laws, those are pieces of legislation that we're making. One needs to have that, you know, understanding of whatever they are doing, even the nature of the debates. If you lack that grade 12 certificate, then to some extent it may imply that even the manner in which you are going to debate in Parliament will be different. And at the end of the day, to be the people now that you're representing, that will suffer the most. So, first of all, even our system in Zambia, our you know, parliamentary system, it is structured in a way that, you know, it pleases the colonial type of, you know, arrangement where members of Parliament, first of all, are only allowed to use English as our formal language, yeah, okay, our official language. If a member of Parliament is you know, trying to debate maybe in their native language, it doesn't allow that. You know, your own language, you have to interpret what you mean. So we need to, you know, maintain this. If anything, we need to, you know, begin discussing maybe increasing the bar, maybe talking about a diploma as a minimum, or maybe a degree. So it's quite unfair for you know, the EU to suggest that. Of course, they're claiming to say it's discriminatory and whatnot, but I don't feel that's the case. Democracy needs to be, you know, competitive, and our members of Parliament need to be qualified enough and understand whatever they are doing. Those are laws, okay? Laws that are going to stand even after 5 years. So we need to maintain that, and we must be discussing, you know, maybe increasing the bar. So I'm glad that some other stakeholders, you know, have received, you know, this recommendation with mixed feelings, and I do, you know, share the same sentiments. And one of them is McDonald Chipenzi, a leader of a certain NGO, Gears Initiative. So we need also to hear from other stakeholders, but I, for one, you know, I do, you know, disagree with the EU based on that recommendation they gave us. So democracy needs to be competitive. Okay, and also I'm glad that you've mentioned that other stakeholders have actually received this news or this recommendation with mixed feelings, one of them being Mr. McDonald Jipenzi, and also not forgetting the PEP president, Mr. Sean Tembo, who said it might somehow work at local government level. What's your take on that one too? Well, to some extent, I would agree with Sean Tembo, because the nature of the leadership or the responsibilities at local government level, and, you know, parliamentary, it's presidential, there's a huge gap in between. So if things go to the, you know, if things go to the west or something, maybe, just maybe, we may consider, you know, maybe considering the fact that maybe at local government level we... So you also agree with that one as well? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But for, you know, parliamentary, presidential, we need to maintain that. Oh, okay, great. Yeah. Let's now get into the Post newspaper. Where now there were talk of the town way back, where it was back and forth with the court, and then it was closed down, and now it's back in the game. Let's just get into that. Okay, so it is indeed a very interesting issue. It's a very interesting issue because it has raised so much questions, anxiety. Just a few days ago, we saw how social media was in a frenzy and whatnot. So here's the thing: the Supreme Court made that ruling, and in that ruling, after reading through the case itself of Fred Membe and the Post versus the others, so the Supreme Court is telling us to say the liquidation process was illegal. Okay, so of course the process was spearheaded by lawyers, lawyers,
trusted lawyers.
Yes, the courts actually. So now this has come. Okay, it's never too late for for things to be done in the right way. So from the report, the comment from the court, it indicates to say maybe, and there were some loopholes in how everything was done, the approach of the liquidation and whatnot, because they're saying they didn't really follow the legal process. So what the Supreme Court is suggesting, or what the Supreme Court is actually saying, is that the matter be taken back to the High Court. Okay, meaning the liquidation process needs to be relooked at. Okay,
from scratch.
Yes. So we are restarting the process again. In trying to restart this process again, there are certain things that also, certain questions that this development has raised. So it's saying also that the liquidators then should be now joined in the issue as as a party. So now it will imply that a different group of judges will spearhead the issue. Then we'll also see a situation where another liquidator will be, I would say a provisional liquidator will be brought into the issue, and so forth and so on. But now you and I remember, and the Zambian people, to say we saw after the Post newspaper was liquidated, the assets were auctioned at a certain value. Yeah. So now, what will happen? Okay.
Compensation needs to come in.
Of course, damages will be there. Damages will be there. But the truth of the matter is, what the Post newspaper lost through that process of liquidation and all is just more than what they would recover if damages are to be given to them. So there were trucks there were certain equipment here and there that were auctioned, and how do we recover that? Because I want to believe some of those assets that were auctioned have been maybe sold again by the people that bought those things. So it's really an interesting issue, but again we've seen the Supreme Court again not really giving us a period of time when this issue will commence, or maybe when it should be concluded. So I think that's one other thing that our judicial systems need to work on. They need to ensure that these matters are done and concluded in good time. Now, people were celebrating on social media to say, okay, the Post is back and whatnot. So after critically looking at the report, at no point did I see the court declaring to say the Post newspaper is actually back. Instead, this is the scenario. Fictionally, the Post newspaper is back. But then, if we are to be realistic, we will say the Post newspaper is still normal. So I think it's unfair for us to be so excited as citizens to say the Post newspaper is back and whatnot, because the Supreme Court has not mentioned that. So all in all, it's an interesting case in the judicial history of our country. Like others are calling it to say it's a landmark judgment. Others are calling it's a groundbreaking judgment.
Yeah.
So it's really an interesting case, and we shall follow it through and see how far it will go and how things unfold.
Do you think there was some political influence?
Maybe yes or not. We'll be able to determine that based on how the process will be relooked at when it goes to the High Court. For now, I can't really comment.
Stretch out.
But let's see how things unfold.
All right, Mr. Chisa, any closing remarks before I let you go?
Well, thank you so much for hosting me. We need to be having these discussions more often. This is our country. Even our leaders in government, they need our voice so that they can function optimally. So I'm grateful really, and I am praying that we continue being a peaceful and loving country, Zambia. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was just having a conversation with Mr. Gregory Chisha, who is actually a governance activist, and we're just looking at two topics that are actually trending in the country currently, which is the scrapping off a grade 12 certificate as a minimum requirement for politicians, and also the liquidation of the Post newspaper. Right about now, we'll take a short break, and remember that you can also come through right here live in the studio on 0968672253 with what your comments or opinions are on the topic of discussion, which is, do you think a grade 12 certificate should be scrapped off as a requirement for office bearers as recommended by the European Union Election Observation Mission? Join me on the other side with another interview.
And bananas. Work and wait, and this what you've been praying for.
Are you a talented and gifted soccer player? Camnet Stars will be conducting trials for young players between the age of 14 and 16 years. You never know, you could be America or Europe bound this July.
We need to pick some players so that we can come up with a very powerful squad which is supposed to travel outside the country and do a lot of work for Zambian football.
Venue, Kablonga Boys Secondary School Playgrounds. Time, 14 hours. You could be the next big soccer star in Europe. See you this Sunday, 20th February 2022.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned.
Well, welcome back. We're still watching the Camnet Breakfast on Camnet TV, and also we're just having a topic of discussion which is quite interesting, the scrapping off of grade 12 certificate as a minimum requirement for politicians as recommended by the European Union Election Observation Mission. I was just having a conversation with Mr. Chisha that just highlighted more on that, and also remember that you can come through as a guest or a caller on the other side. That's on 0968 675273, where we can just get interactive. Now joining me on set is not our usual psychiatrist, but I have a new one now added on the list. You'll probably be seeing his face more as well. Aubrey, hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I don't want to mispronounce your surname, that's why I have not said it.
Okay.
How do you pronounce your surname?
Muyabi.
I was gonna say Muyabi. Muyabi. What tribe is that?
Tonga.
Mwibuti?
Albert.
Mwalia?
Yeah, Chitendini.
Indianda. Damn, it's gone. But let's quickly get to it. We have been seeing get into our topic of discussion, which is how we can prevent suicide in homes. This comes in line with a story just a few days ago where a young lady wrote a post about how a society doesn't really take suicide notes or maybe suicide posts from people that are planning on committing suicide very serious. She came out to say she reached out to some friends, but they didn't take her seriously. And then a day after, she took her life, which is one of the makeup artists actually here in Zambia. So let's just get into how well we can prevent such, especially in our homes.
Okay, good morning everyone who's watching. So to start with, like the case of Felicitas who just committed suicide some days back, we need to understand that before somebody goes through those ideas or those thoughts that have suicidal thoughts that come about, you need to understand that before that a person commits suicide, there is what we call triggering thoughts. So you discover that before somebody commits suicide, they'll give you warning signs. Like Felicitas, she was able to verbalize.
Yes.
She was able to verbalize. She would show signs that she wanted to commit suicide, but people didn't take her seriously because people don't understand mental health. Okay, and then maybe the other reason as to why she ended up, or the reasons why people are committing suicide nowadays in homes, is because people shun mental health services. Okay, and this has also predisposed people to a lot of mental health challenges. You discover that somebody has already an existing mental health in them, but they don't realize. Hence, they end up committing suicide because of the stigma that is attached with mental health. All right.
Yeah. So now, how can we? Let's get into the signs, or maybe the red flags that we actually need to look out for when it comes to suicide. Someone who's suicidal.
All right. So they verbalize suicide. If there are people that drink alcohol, they'll be taking alcohol excessively, and then they would want to, they'll develop anhedonia, which is lack of interest in things, in pleasurable activities. Right? They'll develop apathy. Right? These are warning signs. These are major warning signs. And then suicide, they will want to challenge you. When we talk about suicide, they'll be wanting to find themselves in positions where, let's take for instance, if in a home, they'll want to have guns. They want to have poisonous substances like doom around them. So just know that those little things that are around them, they can use those things to end their life.
Okay, so now if there's someone out there that has noticed such things, especially in homes, apart from them sitting down and talking to the person, because sometimes people like in Felicitas' case, a friend actually came out to say, I spoke to her before she went ahead and committed suicide, but it's like my talk didn't actually change her thoughts. How best can one help such a person that's suicidal?
Okay, so to start with, you need to be there. When somebody opens up to you to say they're suicidal, it's an emergency because there's life that is going to be lost at that particular time. So there is need for you to, if he's traveling, travel, be there with them. Because those feelings, They're very intense, and if not taken care of, somebody would end up committing suicide. So be there for them. Show love to them. So let me just make mention. When somebody is suicidal, they don't need a sermon. What they need is reality. It's reality. So they don't need a sermon. Hey, God is going to do this for you. No. Be there. If it's money that they need, give them money to prevent them from committing suicide. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So there are even people that actually would change their mind when you give them money. Or maybe go out and just get some fresh air, a walk, and stuff like that.
Yes. You discover that, let's take for instance, I have pressure. I need to pay school fees. I need to do a lot of stuff. I don't have work. I don't have work at the source. Do I need God at that particular time?
Well, somehow you do, but then you need the money more.
You need the money more. God won't come down and give you money. So the people that are around you are the ones that are going to help you. Right? Yes.
Okay. So before I let you go, any closing remarks?
So to start with, I would encourage the community out there. Let's take mental health issues seriously. Because mental health, if not taken care of, it will be a pandemic.
Yeah.
You've seen from January 1st to date, how many people have just committed suicide? A lot of them, and then they're youths. So what is the problem? We need to identify what's the problem. And the problem is that people are shunning mental health services because of the stigma that is attached to them. Then also going forward, the dance of a person going through mental health challenges is only funny to those that are not close to them. You discover that somebody verbalizes suicide on Facebook, people are taking it for a joke. You discover the comments that they are giving are so negative about them. But that person is going through a lot of things, and they require help at that particular time.
Okay, thank you so much, Aubrey.
All right,
well, ladies and gentlemen, hope you have learned one or two things. Let's be on the lookout and also find time to check up on the people that you haven't spoken to in a while. If you are actually close friends, just to check on how they're doing, especially some of us that actually stay alone. You never know what's going through in our heads. But anyway, remember that you can also find time and help them see a therapist and also help them open up more and be accommodative when they come through with certain thoughts or certain problems as a friend. Okay, now for now we just take a quick short break, and then I will be packing my bag soon. So yeah.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Are you a talented and gifted soccer player? Camnet Stars will be conducting trials for young players between the age of 14 and 16 years. You never know, you could be America or Europe bound this July.
We need to pick some players so that we can come up with a very powerful squad which is supposed to travel outside the country and do a lot of work for Zambian football.
Venue, Kablonga Boys Secondary School Playgrounds. Time, 14 hours. You could be the next big soccer star in Europe. See you this Sunday, 20th February 2022.
Well, you're watching Camnet Breakfast. For those of you that have stuck around from the time that we started, unfortunately, this is the part where I pack my bags and say my goodbyes. But I would love to say thank you to everybody that took time to actually watch the show, and for those of you that took time to actually comment on Facebook as well. Unfortunately, I didn't receive calls today, but anyways, I know that you managed to watch and learned one or two things, and hope you were actually updated on what has been happening in the course of the week. We went to hear how the situation with the Great of certificate being scrapped off as a minimum requirement for politicians, and also on the other side how the Post newspaper story will turn out to be. We'll get more stories and also follow keenly how it's going to go. Well, from me, Precious Zea Sakaleji, and also on behalf of Elijah and Isaac Chifita on the other side and the entire Camnet TV crew, is have a beautiful day and thank you for watching. Good morning.